Here we are over a beer, episode 15. We got my boy, a lot of people know him as Matty Slopes, Matty on the Fives. That's another one I've heard.
I have not heard these, but new nickname. Everyone asked why I didn't have a nickname, too.
You got a few now.
I'm honored and proud. That's better than more of the ones I came up with,
yes,
so
sir.
I'm glad to have that.
Episode 15, some say that's a bigger milestone than 10.
I think so, because we're already halfway to 20. So.
Right.
That being said, it's an honor and a privilege to be brought back into over today. I guess we could call it over a cocktail.
Over a cocktail and over a Stillwater, dude.
Oh, absolutely. Well, as we kind of have been able to take the time that we had since episode 10, it's been really cool being able to plan something marquee about it that kind of ties back into who we are and what we do and something a little more like micro.
Yeah.
As well as we kind of discussed the craft with the Javelino last time, which was phenomenal.
That was.
This one even hits a little closer to home, which is great. So for anyone who hasn't been in the loop yet, 3 of my friends from college actually started a spiked Stillwater company, which I remember when I had first heard it, I was like, what the hell is a spiked Stillwater?
Yeah.
And they described it as, have you ever taken a sip of something and the bubbles just get in the way? And I didn't really understand the concept until it came out. So basically what they came out with was this awesome beverage for any situation, because what's great about it is without the bubbles you don't feel any bloat. So if you're sitting on the beach all day or looking for a nice place to have a light refreshing drink, it's awesome.
Yeah.
The no carbonation is also great because myself being a skier, yourself being an avid outdoorsman, you're hiking around, you're looking for something to keep in the bag that you don't want to explode once you crack the can.
Yeah, that's facts.
You can't have anything better. And anyone out there that might stock their own business with anything, there's nothing like something that you can just put anywhere without having to worry about exploding or anything like that as well. But as we got into it, they launched it, and they were all featured on Chronicle, which was really cool, and they were able to get a lot of traffic from their time at UNH, which was awesome. But we all went out and we bought a 6-pack to support our friends. And then we had a few, and we were like, damn, these are pretty good. So 1 6-pack turned into 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. And then we had ourselves a hilarious Jingle All the Way type exchange today where I couldn't find it anywhere, which had me late for the taping.
Yeah, these guys are crushing it. It's selling out everywhere.
It's starting to pick up steam, well, especially this one, which is my personal favorite. So the Dragon Fruit Mango right here, 95 calories, 3 grams of carbs, 2 grams of sugar, filtered water, sweetened with stevia extract. It's really awesome because it's something that's got light flavor that you can really just enjoy on its own, or you can do a lot of cool things with because it doesn't have the carbonation, which what we did today, which was pretty special, we actually were able to blend up, nice, to the lips or it's bad luck. What we were able to blend up here, so basically a little vodka, a little triple sec, frozen fruit, rough take on a frozen cocktail. I don't want to call it a margarita or anything like that because we have another one of those we'll hopefully be able to debut later. But what we were able to do here is kind of give you something that you can do at home, not too hard. Maybe took 5 minutes. Yeah. And you could be the absolute toast of your holiday party if you want to bust this one out.
You could make these also while your baby's sleeping. Just bring it outside, mix up the blender inside. Get the cocktail ready, walk outside, plug it in on the side of the house. Guess what?
Important disclaimer. Very important disclaimer.
You're double dipping, baby. You're living life and the baby's sleeping, so you're living life.
Well, thank God that they had such a well-equipped home because we came in and I was like, a sleeping baby's a rare thing, especially when you want to enjoy something like this, which, average warning, be smart, be safe, be responsible. They can be sneaky, but we did mix this up pretty quickly, pretty easily. If at home you want to do this, all you're going to need is to go down to your local NOCA depository, which you can go to drinknoca.com, and you can just put your zip code in. It'll show you where they sell it. But for this blend especially, which I've also done a watermelon lime margarita for their other flavor and a triple berry daiquiri, which is awesome. But this here basically went down to Market Basket. I got a bag of frozen mangoes and frozen pineapple, some orange juice, already had the vodka, and the orange triple sec.
Correct.
Basically, take a blender. You're going to want 2 cups of mango, 1 cup of pineapple, bar shot of vodka, bar shot of triple sec, and then you can add a little bit of orange juice in there for a little more flavor and color. Or if you want something with a creamier texture, you can even put whipped cream in there to blend up, and it'll give it a nice light airiness to it, kind of like an orange creamsicle. But this one right here, I figured we'd go lactose free for our thoughtful friends out there watching the waistlines around the holiday season. Never hurts to be prepared as best as possible, but It's really something that will only take you a few minutes to put together. You can impress anyone around the home, and it was kind of fun trial and error that helped us be able to figure this one out. But
yeah, true.
I appreciate you being able to let me flex this out here on the show.
Hell yeah, dude. And I'll get right into it, though, just to let you know what I think.
Please. Don't hold anything back.
No, this is a phenomenal little mixer.
Thank you.
This is a nice mixer.
That's high praise.
Mm-hmm. Very tasty. If they sold this at a bar, I would get it every time. It's very light, not super thick, like you said.
Right.
I could drink a few of those, not feel like I had to go to the gym right after. So
thank you.
You don't want to be in the gym when you're hammered because it's not safe. So
I don't want to say I've been there.
So we got the babe. She is up and about, which is awesome. So she might be able to pop in for a minute and say hello.
She heard the blender talk. She must have wanted a version one of these.
Yeah, she wants it. Hey, you can do it. It's pretty easy. And I actually never had the Stillwater without the mixer. So what are these bubbles in here? Do you know what that would be?
Well, so as far as bubbles, I think that's more of like a
just flavor,
just a flavoring or a sedentary on that. Which the specifics on, I wouldn't be sure. There wouldn't be any bubbles in there itself.
Right.
I think that might just be more like the connection to the glass as well.
Yeah.
But as you give it a sip, right, it doesn't have too much of like a syrupy stick to the corner of your mouth taste, and that's kind of what the difference is. So there was another Spike Stillwater that came out.
Yeah.
So when it came out, we did a trial test because every year we do a 12-pack Yankee swap.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
All the boys come together, bring a 12-pack, ugly sweater.
Love that.
So we did a trial test of the competition before they launched. And if you've ever been familiar with a malt-based beverage, what you're going to feel is you get basically like this stick to the corner of your mouth feeling where you can really kind of feel that syrup sticking to the sides. And it's, for me, not a pleasurable experience. It makes me kind of feel like I can taste the artificial nature of it.
Yeah.
With this being a fermented sugar base, it's something that's going to be really kind of more conducive to drinking and something that you don't really feel like sticks with you, especially through trial and error, like we said, going to the beach or being able to go skiing or something like that. Like, as someone who skis, and I ski responsibly, having something like this in the back pocket is awesome because you don't worry about going up on the lift and it shaking up on you and exploding. You don't worry about it like freezing down on you or being something that is a pain to drink.
Right.
Especially if you were on a lift or anything, trying to get to the top of the lift and suck something down that has bubbles in it is a pain in itself.
That's very true.
But this is something that has a lot more flexibility to it.
Yep.
Something you can do a lot of cool stuff with, and it's got a really cool local story. If you haven't checked out their Chronicle episode, it's on there. It's on the internet. It's really awesome. 3 good guys, Rich, Galen, and Alex, all put it together. And it's funny, like, 3 of the boys chasing the dream is pretty cool to watch come together.
That is awesome. Yeah.
It's definitely a big supporter. This one's my personal favorite. I know a lot of people really do love like the watermelon lime, especially, and the triple berry, which is kind of cool to be able to find different things to do with those. Like you can do a triple berry sangria that I've heard is really cool if you don't like frozen drinks too. So you're not locked into anything. It's all about as creative as you can get with it. And it's really, really guilt-free. Like I said, 3 grams of carbs, 2 grams of sugar, sweetened with stevia extract, pure filtered water. It's something that you can enjoy and not feel that guilt the next day or feel like you are cheating your New Year's resolution as we start getting to that point. So you don't have to give up drinking. Just give up drinking things with carbonation in it.
Amen. All right, well, here we go. Let's dive into some sports.
Excellent.
So we got some good promo there. NOCA, check them out. Obviously, this one here, Dragon Fruit Mango, I'm actually a fan, so I'll be curious to see what I'll score this at the end. I quickly just wanted to go through a little NCAA. We had some huge games yesterday, so basically it's going to decide the fate of the national championship. So you had the number 1 seed, Ohio State. They matched up last night, or I guess afternoon, against Wisconsin. Huge game. Ohio State crushed them. You had number 4 seed Georgia lost to LSU, which is potentially going to be their bid out of the tournament. That's a second loss for them now.
Well, and in a conference as powerhouse as the SEC, any big game like that can have huge ripple implications that you never know where it's going to take you to, especially come college football playoff time.
Yeah, and I think what's going to happen now, Oklahoma 6-7 with Baylor.
That game with Baylor was huge, bananas.
Huge.
Oh, my God.
Huge. So I think with Utah losing, Oklahoma's going to leapfrog in. Georgia's going to move out. One
Which will be
loss.
interesting to see as it shakes out here, especially like as we get to this clutch point where all these bowl games and everything start to factor into it as well, as you start jockeying for those things, like a Cotton Bowl or a Sugar Bowl or things like that. Even if you miss the college football playoff, like that's what's kind of cool with the realignment recently. To me, the fact that they've actually been able to maintain the value of those other bowl games, because to me it would be like, what's the point? You're not one of the Big Four, but it's not that cut and dry. Which is
I mean,
nice.
you get a solid bowl game, it's a win for any program. You know what I mean? There's only 4 teams out of how many Division I football teams that are going to make the playoffs?
Right.
You can still have a huge bowl win, and that's a win for your program. So, but yeah, no, I'm predicting Oklahoma slides in. Obviously, Georgia's going to slide out, which is tough. But the SEC, like you said, they're so tough.
And it's a year in, year out thing, right? Like Georgia's the upstart team a couple of years ago, giving people by surprise. So we're not surprised by anything that happens. It's like an any given Sunday, only on Saturdays. You know what I mean?
And I think Burrow is obviously, we talked about this last week, my buddy Jay, and I think he just locked up the Heisman. He crusher performance.
I'll tell you, though, you know who's starting to make that sneak appearance for me? QB from Clemson.
Oh, your boy.
He's starting to flex in a little bit more, which is nice. Like, first few games, I forget the stats specifically, but he was struggling with that TD-INT ratio. And ever since, he has been on the warpath, which like nothing like a good late season charge. It's going to make you seem like you're...
Well, everyone expected him to be that guy, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, they obviously have a decent run game, and their defense is nice, so he gets overshadowed a little bit this year. But
expectation versus reality, but I'm glad he's starting to figure that out. The last thing you want to see is anyone having a performance that's going to hurt not only them during awards time, but and I was thinking this yesterday, like, and this is a whole other arching topic that could eventually become its own segment or show, but like at the end of the day, they're all in the same field. They're all trying to make it big and make money in the NFL at the next level. So it's funny, like, although college football especially is a pride and passion point, you got to start wondering at what point do they start realizing, like, hey, we're all in this together. We're all trying to put on our best show that we can to get noticed, make money, and provide a future and a better life for ourselves and our family. But like I said, that's more philosophical level than that. But you love to see someone realizing their potential and being able to actually make the most of what they're given.
Absolutely, dude. And the guys that are doing it, obviously making a little money, the pros. Let's segue there. Let's dive into some...
I'm glad some people are making money on professional football, because I am not.
Oh, yeah? Wait a few years, college guys... I actually, maybe even, I would say within 2 years, college guys start getting a little bit of cash on the side, which is great. But yeah, we got some big games today, so we'll just run through that quick. First, I did a few can't miss picks. I know you said you hadn't dived into the betting game huge this week.
Not after the money I'd lost.
So I'll just run through mine real quick, and we'll go over a parlay together. The Colts are playing in Tampa. I believe the line's something like plus 3.5 Colts. Tampa, I mean, they are what they are. You know what I mean?
That's a great way to put it, too. Like, at the end of the day, they're not going to wow you and blow you out of the stadium. But anything with Bruce Arians at the helm is still, I won't be surprised. You know what I mean? Like, there's never a week where I hear they either get blown out or they sneak a win that I'm like, oh, well, that's outside the realm of possibility. You know what I mean? Jameis
Winston, he's good for 3 to 4 touchdowns, but he's good for 2 to 3 picks, so he's going to keep that game close.
He's always been what we'll call a pariah. As we see, he's going to throw for probably 270, 300 yards. Right. Maybe sneak 3 TDs, and the question is it 1 pick or 2? You know what I mean? Right. It's that toe line he throws of being able to be like just always on either the right side or the wrong side of his turnover margin. So
his balls, people like to catch him, regardless.
Depending on the team, everyone's fighting for a shot.
He plays both ways, dude. Let's go.
But like as you look at that too, you start wondering, right? When does like the master Bruce Arians really make that impact? Because everyone was impacting that he was going to be the one that helped turn around. So it's that put up or shut up year where are you going to end up being a veteran journeyman backup QB that was a 1-2 overall pick for your life, or are you going to be able to put the money where the mouth is, put the crowd legs down, and get to work? Especially with you getting that close to the end of the season. I know, especially with New Orleans being the powerhouse they are, it's tough to try and even keep up, but you want to be able to finish the season as strong as you can. And as we're getting towards the twilight era of another season, you're either making any last-ditch effort you can or you're prepping for next year. And having that limited time frame as we have with Bruce Arians, knowing he's had health issues and things in the past, we need to see something. I need to see more. I need to see consistency, and I need to see real stats delivered. But at the end of the day, that's out of our hands, so we'll see how it goes.
So with that, we got Colts money line in that one. I think Tampa finishes 7-9, 8-8 would be a stretch. Just quickly, Packers and Redskins. I like the over 41.5 there. Dwayne Haskins finally getting into his own. Green Bay's good for 32, so he can score 10 or more.
I was going to say, it's the classic statement game where Aaron Rodgers puts up a bunch of points and gives the post-game me, I speech.
Whiskey, baby. Let's go, Aaron. Big whiskey guy. Last one, and then we'll get into our parlay. The line to watch, I like the Jags plus 3.5 at home. Minshew Mania back in full effect.
The fact that they put him back in and Nick Foley and Dynamite take his seat is pretty interesting because especially you can't watch a post-game presser and not fall in love with Gardner Minshew. He's so down to earth. He knows that he's riding the time he has, and you root for him. He's someone you can't watch and not get super stoked behind. So I kind of love the fact they were able to put him back in. At the end of the day, no harm, no foul against Nick Foles, but everyone loves a Cinderella story around the holidays. Why not hop on that Minshew bandwagon? I love that Minshew mania.
Yeah, he's sweet, dude. He is the dude. All right, let's go. Let's run through this quick. I know we are on limited time today, but episode 20 will be big. We'll do a 45-minute special.
Well, and that's the thing, too. Nothing like teasers into the holidays. You can't open your presents before Santa comes to town. You know what I mean?
Santa hasn't been here yet, dude. Let's go. So let's go for just first thoughts with all these. This is an interesting line. So Ravens at Bills. Bills are plus 6.5. Obviously, Buffalo convincing win last week versus the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Which is another chance to get Jerry Jones a new head coach, but that's a whole other story.
Garrett will be there forever. And then Ravens a convincing win versus the 49ers. Some thought they were the best team in the NFC. I'm still on the Seahawks bandwagon.
I was going to say, the Niners, it's very impressive what Kyle Shanahan's been able to do out there, especially I feel like the Shanahan men have had a tough enough time trying to be able to maintain that relevance they have in the football community. But
right.
Baltimore is someone that you really can't stop until the postseason. And I think they're going to ride high on this bandwagon until Tom Brady comes back to town.
Or if they can lose one until he comes to Tom Brady's town.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, at the end of the day, no one beats the Patriots twice in a season.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
Right.
So knowing that was out of the way now, right? The Bills are an upstart story. Hopefully we'll be able to see that continue into 2020. It's cool to see them relevant again, and especially Jim Kelly being healthy and around to see it is awesome news too. But I think it's a way out. I think that they won't be able to match up with what Baltimore is putting on the table. It will be close. It'll be a nail-biter, I think, on the spread. But I think Lamar Jackson's still going to pull it out. I think he's going to ride this hype wave, and then come time for postseason, they'll make it a couple rounds. Then Tom's going to put him down out of his misery. They'll plan for the next year, and then Tom's potentially looking at battling the Saints. I'm scared of the Saints in the NFC.
Let's go. Okay, so I got Ravens minus 6.5 as well. I didn't think the Buffalo Bills were going to do anything last weekend either. They proved me wrong, but they're not going to prove me wrong.
No one circles the wagons, as they say.
Yep, there we go.
Bills.
That's right, dude. They're sick. I'll lead the next one, 49ers at Saints. I think everyone and their sister is looking at that money line plus 125 on the 49ers and drooling. With that being said, that's not me. They're going to be in New Orleans, Mardi Gras time this time of year, and Drew Brees is going to start the party, baby.
This may seem a little in bad taste, but we always know the Superdome can always be a good site for a disaster, and that's what it's going to be this weekend, because as we look into bringing back Drew Brees, as he's getting his hand or his grip back on the ball,
it's
now
back,
that he's been able to work kind of more through that injury and kind of get back into comfort, this is going to seem to me more like a real show of the disparity in talent between the NFC teams. That's no slight on the Niners themselves. They have a lot of things going for them, and they're able to prove a lot of doubters wrong, especially everyone at the start of the season was really thinking that it was going to be Jimmy G's tried and true year and then turning back to Foxborough. But the Saints have too much. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, that defense is getting better by the week too.
Yeah.
I would be very, 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 very surprised for the Niners to go into the Dome and pull out a win. I just don't see it happening. So I'm going to have to go with the Saints.
Great. Yeah, no, and I mean, obviously, the 49ers, their defense is time and time again better, but Drew Brees also is he's designed to be that guy, to beat that defense.
great value Tom Brady, for lack of a
The
better
same,
term.
right? Exactly. Yeah. I mean, even arguably at some points in his career, like a different kind of Tom Brady. Like obviously had a little bit more legs. Maybe not as big of a winner, but
He was doubted the same way in San Diego too. And people cashed out Drew
I
Brees.
forget he was a Padre, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, the Saints are just more of a complete team, so I agree with you completely. Titans at Raiders, go right into that one. In Oakland, your boys are getting +3. I know you're an Oakland guy, so I always try to throw that in there.
I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me kind of get on my soapbox for a minute. It's tougher the more you kind of look at it to be like, this team's going to do things this year. Of course, in the classic fashion, they're waiting till they go to Las Vegas to do any justice. And just when you think they're starting to get good, just when they're crawling into the wild card slot, just when they're half a game out of the division lead, is when you start having to face the music and realize this year is not our year. We'll need Jonathan Abram to come back safely. We'll need a lot of the other guys to come through as well and start to develop into their roles more.
Absolutely.
That being said, Ryan Tannehill's been on a pretty phenomenal kick this year. The Titans.
Your boy, you were hyping him last time you were here, too.
I was going to say,
well,
like I said last time, there was huge doubters for my fantasy football experience. So seeing him turn it around there, especially when Marcus Mariota wasn't getting anything done, is great. And Mike Vrabel, I could just see being one of the few who actually is able to make some impact from the Belichick coaching tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's tough to do it. I'm just kind of also doing it so that hopefully they prove me wrong and they win. I'm going to pick against my Raiders this week, and I'm going to pick the Titans.
I'm going to go the opposite there, specifically because I needed to beef up my parlay earlier. I got +185 on Oakland. I am not going to let that go at home. I
hope you're right, Tim. I really hope
your team.
Right.
We're still in the aftermath of the old Rich Gannon era.
Oh.
We're never going to recover fully. R.I.P. But, I think that they're offensively, they're stout enough. If they can get on the board a few times, the Titans aren't going to keep up. And that's my philosophy there.
Don't let Tim down. Defense
come on, boys.
Come to play this week. We beg you.
Yeah, we need the A's to step up. Let's go. Just going to throw some baseball puns all through that. All right, next we got the Royals at the Patriots. I'm just kidding. So the Chiefs are coming into town. Huge game. Pats -3. I had all the money going into Sunday night last weekend. I had all the money. I had 3 bets that were sitting nice. I just needed the Pats to cover.
And they did not.
And they freaking screwed me. And I'm kind of like a little upset and want to bet against them this weekend. But you know what I'm not going to do? Bet against the Patriots in Gillette Stadium.
Not 2 weeks in a row.
So, so I think the Chiefs coming to town just like they did last season. And I think we make a mockery of them.
I think their defense is a little more one-dimensional at the end of the day. If they're able to keep like Frank Clark really going strong, as well as all the other pass rushers that they're starting to develop into their roles, it will be great. But one of the biggest difficulties is Tom at home, 2 weeks in a row. I don't see him not covering the spread twice in a row. I just don't do it. At the end of the day, 20 years experience kind of teaches you a couple things. So,
and he's a good-looking guy. Tom,
he's a handsome guy. I think more dudes have crushes on Tom Brady than women do.
I don't think Patty Mahomes is that good-looking. So if we're going just in the overall bout, and who's got a better voice? Tom Brady, not Kermit the whatever you call him.
That's none of my business.
Kermit the Mahomes.
Kermit the Mahomes.
Let's go. So I think the Pats, it's a no-brainer. We're going to win this game. 3, maybe by a half point. We can win by a field goal. You never know.
If they can get someone who can actually kick them.
Great. Oh, Nick Folk in town yet? Did he clear the physical?
Well, because who was it they had last week?
I don't even try to follow the kicker game anymore. It's like freaking following one of those girls in high school's boyfriends that are just aggressive daters.
And always off the mark.
Last but certainly not least, we got the Seahawks at the Rams. That is Sunday Night Football. That's the game of the week.
Waiting all day for Sunday night.
Even line, too, in L.A., which I thought, looking at that first glance, if you bet against the Seahawks in an even line versus an L.A. team that just showed up for the first time last week in a month, I don't know. What do you think? I'm not trying to sway your opinion before you talk.
It's been a year of underperforming for the Rams, which, I did not expect the Seahawks to be this good.
They were my pick preseason.
Really? No way.
Yeah, my NFC pick.
As they start really threshing it out, that run game's getting really scary, though.
Mm-hmm.
The fact Rashad Penny's getting involved with Chris Carson now is tough dynamic duo to face.
Yes, it is.
I got to go with the Seahawks because I think they're going to maintain the clock. I don't think that the Rams are really ready to kind of keep that motion going.
Yeah.
I think this might be a close game, a quick gut check to be able to be like, hey, we kind of have the right pieces.
Right.
Maybe we can figure it out. But
Yeah.
Seattle's moving in a different cylinder, and they're really able to put a lot of good things together on both sides of the ball right now.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that they're able to manage that clock, keep the ball moving, and keep pounding and grounding their way to a win, I think that's going to be what really helps kind of keep them up with the Saints in the postseason for the NFC playoff picture.
And with that being said, would you even, your whole speech was ground and pound game.
Thank you.
We're not even alluding to the fact that if Lamar Jackson wasn't in the league this year, you'd have a runaway MVP in Russ Wilson.
That's a fact, and he was a runaway MVP.
That's a dirty combo.
That's the thing, too. He also helps that ground and pound game, too. He keeps the chains moving through the air with his legs, and it's always been something since he came out of Wisconsin where he's always going to prove people wrong.
He was too short. His hands were too small. Look at this guy.
I was going to say.
He's swinging a big one.
He could teach a few people a couple things on how to play the quarterback position. So
Agreed.
it's funny as he's growing into his role, as he's really taking over the team more and more every year, that what are the odds they have a former Patriot coach and what seems to be a future, lack of a better term, Tom Brady type. He respects the huddle, runs the locker room, and no matter what, he's able to get it done. Even the past few years when the team sucks, Russell Wilson rings the bell.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. You've seen him in the pregame, obviously, when he was ringing the bell, dude.
Literally.
That was friggin' sick. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you saw it. So I think the Seahawks don't lose that. They can't lose that. So if you're going to put all your money on one line this weekend, do that. Seattle in LA, the Rams, they showed up once, but before that, they were basically walking their way out of the playoff picture. So
it is true. It's that second show up. That's when you start turning corners.
If they beat the Seahawks, they're back in the conversation as contenders. I think we're running out of film, so let's quickly score this. We get 29 minutes and 30 seconds in one take. So
wow.
Yeah.
It seems we've done.
So now you guys know. So cheers us up.
First off, having made these, I'm biased, and with my friends being the masters behind this, I want to hear what you think.
So I'm going to score this. So this is a cocktail score, so obviously can't give it a beer score.
Right.
But if I'm going to score, this is one of the better cocktails I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a top 5 cocktail, and I used to be a heavy drinker.
Get at me in the subscriptions.
Get at your boy Matty. What do they call you again? Matty Slopes and Matty on the fives, dude. I love it.
I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. That's going to be the new nickname. But
let's go.
If you have interest, let us know. We can send you the recipe like we laid it out for you before. We can give you a watermelon lime, too, and the triple berry. Hopefully we can get another repeat to bring that on.
So 8.9 for the cocktail. Very good job. Well done.
What about the regular Stillwater here?
So it's tricky because I'm switching back and forth, and you're adding a little bit of flavor to it. But that being said, for a Stillwater, I would put this kind of in my seltzer category. Obviously, it's not a seltzer, but if I'm looking at something that's not a beer, this is really good.
Hell yes.
So I'd go in that category probably 8.3.
8.3.
So another really high praising score. I was a huge Truly boy over the summer, but I might switch to the NOCA next summer.
Truly, madly, deeply.
Let's go.
Check them out on drinknoca.com and see where they are around you. Give it a shot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Woo. Tell me that.